Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at Algorand. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on the bell notification so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff here. So what we were talking about for a while now is that potentially we could have completed into here and that we were forming some kind of a corrective move here, looking to potentially come back down towards this zone here of this typical B wave retracement. So there is a couple of ways of counting this, so we just need to be a little bit cautious within the structure. But effectively, what we need to be aware of is that we could still have a fourth wave here. So a typical fourth wave would actually look to be this 3968 to this 3203. And if we do get something like this play out as a fourth, we could potentially look to actually come back down lower here towards this 1352 to this 1045. So this is something that we still need to be aware of. There is that possibility we could actually still look to break down. So we need to just, if we're looking for that bullish case, what we'd want to see is sort of clearing this previous fourth wave here at this 45.34, just for a little bit more evidence that we aren't going to be seeing any further extension here. So what I'm looking at within this structure is basically we were talking about this being a potential completion zone in the previous video and looking for that potential to rally, but we actually lost the low, so that has invalidated, and I was looking for this to potentially be a 1-2 and then looking for that third wave up, but second we cross this, that's invalidated. So the other option we were talking about in the video was basically that we could be seeing something like this, we were looking at this whole move here as a W, looking for an X wave and then looking for that Y wave to the downside. So for the most part, we've actually completed that one-to-one, which is sitting here at this 22.85. And now what I'm looking at for is within these internal waves here, we could technically have completed the C wave, but there is also the possibility we can count this where we have an additional leg here, where we actually look at this move here basically as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 within here. And then that would mean that we have the potential for another fourth wave. So this fourth wave rejection zone would be this 2358 to this 2267. And what we'd be looking for here is to see if we get a three-wave move that comes and challenges some of these highs. So that 382 would, like I said, would be this 2317, which could be a challenge on this high here. Alternatively, 50% would be up higher here. If we start to break above this 50% level, it becomes less likely that we have this fifth wave to the downside. And then what we'd be looking for would that be that potential that actually we could have potentially completed into here and count this slightly different, where we'd have to then say that potentially we've had an extension within a wave 5 here for that third wave. This has been a fourth wave retracement, and then this is the fifth into here. So we need to just be a little bit cautious with it, but we can see this potential to actually move to the upside from this point if we fail to get rejection around this 2358 to this 2317. We can potentially get rejection lower at this 2267. However, the typical area would be this 382. If we do get a rejection there, I'd be looking for continuation down here towards this 2160 to this 2113 area. So that would actually take us into that 50% here. Uh, Actually, that would be a 382 rather. So that would be the 0.382, that top line, that 2158. 50% would be lower down here towards this 2036. So this area of this previous fourth is going to be quite a key zone. If we do find support here, we could then look to rally from there. Alternatively, this could then become an A wave. We get a push up again, and then we get a C wave to the downside like this, and actually look to break deeper into this zone. So there is potentially a way of also counting this as an impulse. So we're going to go over that. And we were talking about this previously where, we're looking at this as a five-wave structure here, but you can also break this down differently where you get this as basically a W, X, and a Y to the upside. And then what we'd be doing is actually looking to see whether this is going to turn to a bigger impulse here. Or alternatively, we could still see this be an A wave, this a B, and then we push up one more time for a C wave, still looking towards this target zone of this 32.99 if we come down to that 50%. So these are all still options that are viable. Basically, what I want to see here is whether this actually holds this zone here of this previous fourth wave. If we start to lose this 2080 zone, then it would become more likely that we could start to break down deeper here. But we need to just see how these waves actually play out. So for the short term, I'm basically looking to see whether we're going to get a bigger three-wave move up here towards the zone of this 2317. If we, however, fail to break up that high, what I would be looking out for, if we just throw this onto here, let me just change this over. We can always extend within these waves. This could become another one and a two if we face rejection between this 50% and the 786, and then we could actually look to extend deeper down. So, until we actually start to get some breaks above these previous fourth wave locations, you need to just be careful because we can continue to extend out here, and then potentially what that would mean is that within the structure, this third wave is potentially still ongoing and actually is looking to push down deeper. So we're going to discuss that in a second. But if we do complete towards this zone of this 2170, or into this green box area, this 2160, what I'd want to see then is basically a bigger move up here, looking to take out some of these key low points to invalidate any further extension. Because if we do move up past this zone here of this 2439, what that does is that stops the potential of this being another 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if after we complete into here, we actually get a move up here and take out this low, then we have that overlap and we can't count it as an impulse anymore. And this would just be an A, B, and a C to the downside. And then that could be sufficient enough to actually be a correction completed in this Y wave. And then that could just be this whole move as a corrective structure, and then we could be looking for that C wave up. So this is going to be a key zone to hold for support if we want to be bullish. This 2158 to the 1775. There's no saying that we're necessarily going to get down to these lower ranges here, but it is still a possibility. If this is a WXY, typically speaking, it tends to target out between this 2158, well, between the 50% and the 382, which would be this 2036 to this 2158 zone. So keep an eye on that area for a reaction to the upside. Then what we'll be looking for from here is whether this move to the upside here actually becomes a bigger five-wave structure, or we just move to this one-to-one. If we just get a five-wave move up here towards this one-to-one area, we'd need to be careful of that fact that we could actually start a bigger five-wave structure down from that point. So keep an eye on this zone if we do get a move to the upside, this 32.99, and then basically anywhere from there, anywhere from this 32-cent range to this 39.68 area is pretty much a danger zone for continuation to get actually rejected again here and look to push down deeper. So we'll have to just be monitoring how the structure actually plays out here and seeing whether we can actually manage to get back above some of these key zones. Okay, so now the more bearish alternative to this would be looking at this move from the top here. I'm actually going to just remove all of these from the. They would be looking at this move just from this point here. Like I said before, we talked about it in some of the previous videos. You can look at this as a potential W, X, and a Y into here as well. So we need to just be aware of that fact. And what we could be looking for is a bigger five-wave decline here, looking that this as a 1, 2, and then potentially getting an extension down here within the third. We haven't reached the typical target, which would be this 1955 area yet, but we do have the potential to see some progression down into this zone. Like we were saying previously, there is that potential that we still have that fourth and fifth here, where this becomes 1, 2, uh, 3 into here, 4, and then we break down one more time for a fifth wave. So if we do actually break down past this zone of this 2102, effectively what we could then get, I don't know what this is, what we could then get is basically an additional fourth and fifth wave here, where this becomes basically a bigger structure here from up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we would have to look for that potential of even having another fourth and a fifth to the downside. And then if we do get these successions of these fourths and fifths here, that could actually bring us down to this green third wave target, which would be this 1955 zone. So, this is something we are keeping an eye on here. If we do move down into this area, it wouldn't give a lot of space for this fourth wave, but it would still be a viable count. I'd like to see it sort of be a bit stronger though within this third wave. It is sort of more sideways, so that's why I'm not overly keen on it, but we'll have to see what happens. If we do move down to this 1955 zone, then we'd have to be looking out for this fourth wave, the green fourth wave to play out, but that would only be playing out after this wave count would complete here. If we do, however, move up past this zone here, like I said, of this 2455 and this zone here of this 2618, that would invalidate these potential extensions here because this wave 4 is not allowed to cross this wave 1 unless it is a diagonal. And you can't have a diagonal in a third wave. So that's just something that wouldn't be allowed to happen. Moving up past these zones would basically invalidate the potential to actually see these extensions playing out like we have, like we've got shown here. But yeah, really would want to move down towards this 2102 for this confirmation of this move here. So the difference within these moves, if I just explain it, is if we just have a 5 wave move from the top here, really we'd have to be careful because then this would then potentially be either an A or wave 1, we'd get a wave 2 or a B wave, and then we'd look for that continuation down for a C wave. So that would be something that we'd be looking out for if we do actually get this move down into these zones. Potentially what we could then see is that that potential to actually move back up towards this zone here of this 50% to the 786. So that's 27 to this 2350, and that would be looking for that potential to actually have another move up here in a 3 wave structure, and then actually look for further ejection down after completing. So there is that potential we could develop into a 5 wave move here. So we need to be aware of it. It is currently still following it, and I've had this marked out for ages now. But this is still something that can play out. So we need to watch out for this. If we do start to extend further out here, potentially we could get an extension even deeper within this third wave, which could push us a bit lower, which would then allow for this fourth wave to have more space. So we're going to have to just keep an eye on it. For the most part, at the moment, it doesn't look like it's getting too much more extension, but these things can happen on a turn of a coin. So, this could be just something that develops over time. So keep an eye on it. We will try to keep you up to date for as much as we can. And basically, as we see these moves play out, we'll try and keep you up to date within it. But if we're looking for that bullish potential, basically, this is the key area we have to hold, this 1775. If we lose this 1775 area, that becomes less likely that we're going to see this C wave to the upside or this wave as a 1-2. Technically speaking, as a B wave, we can actually take this low and still play out as a 5 wave move, as a flat. There's a lot of things this B wave can do. But if we want to look for an impulse here, effectively, we don't want to lose this 786 region, otherwise it becomes less likely that it's going to develop. But yeah, for as long as we actually hold these zones, the higher end of this is this 2158, and then basically this would be your 50%, 618, 703, and 786. Everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description below, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, there is affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT in the description. Both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out if you don't have an account. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care up.